Hi, I'm Stephanie Couture, and I'm a video editor by day and screenplay writer by night. I have an exciting project I can't wait to show you all. A feature screenplay. I have written shorts and even made some of them, but this was my first feature. I've always wanted to write a story like The Ghost of Mrs. Muir. It was a movie in the 40s, then a TV series in the 60s. For whatever reason, I have always had that story in the back of my mind, so I decided to write a modern adaptation of it. If you don't know, there are limited opportunities for adaptations because of copyright infringement. So I accepted the fact that this screenplay was written just for me. It wasn't until I found the Fan Fiction Film Festival. I ended up winning that festival, and as a winner, Wild Sound had actors perform a scene from my script. And that inspired me to get actors together to read the full script. And maybe the right eyes will see it.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is The Sea Captain's Cottage.
Interior, New York City, Lower East Side, apartment, morning. Marilyn, 40, rushes out of her room past her daughter Jess, 20. Jess is wearing headphones, drinking coffee, and looking at her phone. At first glance, it's hard to tell who's older. Marilyn is dressed younger in casual clothing with a messy ponytail. Jess is wearing all black, a collared shirt, with her hair in a perfect bun, with large headphones. Jess's rock music is loud enough for her mother to hear, and yet Marilyn doesn't notice. The two are completely engulfed in their own business. Marilyn's cell rings. She struggles to pick it up as she tries to pour her coffee.
Hello? No. The ratings can't be that. I mean, we all knew the show sucked, but the demographic we aimed for should have eaten it up. Okay, I'll have to discuss this later. I'm late for an appointment. Yes, I'm fine. Don't worry about it. Just get started without me. Yep. Bye.
Jess looks up, observing her mother as she rushes out the door. She mocks Marilyn overdramatically in a transatlantic accent.
Good morning, Jess. How did you sleep? Well, dear Marilyn, I slept just fine.
She's interrupted by Marilyn unlocking the door aggressively. Marilyn runs back in, again not noticing Jess, and into her room. After a moment, she rushes back out with papers and runs out the door. Jess shakes her head until she realizes what time it is and jumps up, grabs her barista hat and apron, and runs out the door. Interior, New York City, taxi, day. Marilyn watches the city go by. She's deep in thought.
Ma'am, we're here.
Marilyn snaps out of it and leaves the cab.
Thanks.
Exterior, Brooklyn, New York, street, TV set, day. Marilyn runs over to the street that's filled with extras, cameramen, and props. She ducks under the yellow tape and stands behind a small monitor with Ben, 30.
Okay, I'm here. Is our guy ready to go?
Ben gives her an "are you kidding" look.
I knew I shouldn't have stressed about making it on time.
How was your appointment?
Super easy. Although now I know my weight, and let me tell you, not a confidence booster.
Marilyn walks over to the extra standing in line.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for being here.
Everyone waves, looking very excited. She walks back over to Ben.
What time is it?
5 of. Are you sure you're okay? You felt pretty bad yesterday. The doctors didn't say anything about broken ribs?
If I thought I had a broken rib, I would have gone to the emergency room. The only reason I went to the doctors was because the studio wouldn't let me come back without a checkup. It looked more dramatic than it was. I just have some bruises.
Ben doesn't look convinced, and then notices her hand.
Did you have too much coffee this morning?
Why?
Your hand's twitching.
She looks down at her twitching hand, suddenly panicking inside. She brushes it off.
I did have a couple of cups. What time is it?
We've got 4 minutes.
Where is he?
Marilyn rolls her eyes and walks over to the girl, 20s, with a walkie-talkie. The girl quietly points to the other side of the set, where the rack of wardrobe is kept. Marilyn goes in that direction to find herself a half-dressed Donald, 18, a pretty boy actor, lounging on 2 chairs.
Are you ready to go in front of the camera like that?
I just got some pretty bad news, so I'm trying to get in the right headspace.
Marilyn calmly puts on her best fake smile.
This happens every week, Donald. How much more bad news can you possibly get?
My dog is really sick. I don't think she's gonna make it.
I'm sorry about your dog. What is wrong with her?
She didn't eat her treats today.
She hasn't been eating?
No, she is. She's just not eating these treats I got her. The bag says dogs love it, and she just isn't touching it.
These are new treats?
Yeah. You think they made her sick?
Not if she's not eating them.
Oh, of course. See, my mind today. I can't concentrate.
Maybe she just doesn't like the treats?
Donald is looking through photos of his dog, on the verge of tears, ignoring Marilyn.
Donald, we need to do this scene. We've only got the street for 2 hours.
He continues to ignore her.
Donald! Donald!
Yeah, okay. I just need to put on some pants.
But he continues to look at his phone.
When will that be exactly?
Her rage cannot be controlled this time. Marilyn takes his phone out of his hands and drops it in between the grate of the sewer conveniently placed next to her.
I always wondered if a phone could fit through there. And look, it does.
Are you kidding?
No. Are you kidding? You are such a fucking spoiled brat.
The crew looks at her excited and shocked. People pull out their phones.
I am so sick and tired of tiptoeing around you and everyone else in this fucking business just to make a buck. The fact that I have to degrade myself for this cheesy, unoriginal TV show kills me. Must be nice to sit here with no pants and do whatever the fuck you want. Well, no more.
Ben runs over.
Marilyn, what are you doing?
She storms off before Ben can reach her. She turns around one last time.
By the way, don't expect this show to last much longer.
Interior coffee shop day. Jess is behind a cash register in a coffee shop, bored. She takes a rag and pretends to clean, just wiping down a small spot over and over again. Angela, 20s, comes up behind her, tying her apron.
Hey, how's today been?
Jess smiles and unties her apron.
Oh, I've never been so happy to see you.
I'm sorry I didn't make it to your art show.
It's okay. It wasn't a legit show. No free food.
Still, I meant to go. I just lost track of time. How was it?
Jess pulls out her phone, showing her pictures.
I didn't sell anything, but this was the setup.
Angela swipes through the images.
People just don't get it. They want flowers and sunshine.
Look, there's a flower there.
Yeah, might have sold if it wasn't on fire.
Well, I like it. I'm sorry you didn't sell anything.
Life of an artist, I guess.
Someday you're gonna be famous. You just wait.
I'm not really thinking that far ahead. I might be living with my mom forever, and that future depresses me.
Angela's phone vibrates. She pulls it out of her pocket and plays a video.
Speaking of your mom...
Angela turns her phone around, showing Marilyn yelling at her crew on set.
What the hell?
Interior New York City office day. As Marilyn storms off in Angela's phone, the scene is revealed playing on a different cell phone in an office. Marilyn's producer, Ray, 50, puts the cell phone down.
You know I have to fire you, right?
Marilyn slowly shakes her head yes.
Now that this video's gone viral, I can't imagine you'll get a job anytime soon.
She again slowly shakes her head yes.
Look, if this cell phone footage didn't exist, I would look the other way. You do good work, and we've known each other for a long time. But there's no way to fix this. You just have to wait it out.
I know.
Can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
Maybe use this time to get away, relax and recharge. I kind of wish I had that opportunity. I'm a little jealous.
That's something only people with jobs say.
Ray gives her a sympathetic look.
I guess you're right, though. I should rest.
If you need anything, just call unless it's for a gig. Can't help you there.
Ray, work is all I know. I don't think I can relax, even if I tried.
I know, but what's the alternative?
Marilyn's face sinks. Interior New York City apartment night. Marilyn is sitting in her living room on her laptop. In the reflection of her glasses, you can see the word symptoms on the webpage. The door opens and she quickly closes her laptop. Jess walks in holding her hat and apron in one hand and her keys in the other.
Hi, honey.
Honey? Wait, why are you home?
Love that apron.
They fired you, didn't they?
So, you have seen it.
My phone has never blown up so much in one day. My friends think you're a hero.
I may be a hero, but I still put my pants on one leg at a time like everyone else.
What?
Never mind. Look, I want you to quit your job.
Why?
I'm thinking I want to get away from the city for a bit. Maybe rent a place, or a tiny house could be fun.
I'm not living in a tiny house.
You don't have to do anything you don't want to, but I will be renting out the apartment this summer, so you'll have to find a place to live.
Are you kidding?
Look, they have fast food all over the world. I figured you'd like a little change.
I have my art to think about.
You can paint anywhere.
You know the connections are here.
Yes, but Isn't living the greatest inspiration for art?
Jess rolls her eyes and slumps down on the chair in front of her.
When are we leaving?
I don't know yet.
Where are we going?
I don't know.
You're so unreliable.
Jess stands back up and goes to her room. Marilyn opens her laptop, showing the webpage she was on. She quickly opens another tab before we can read it. Marilyn takes a deep breath and starts typing. Time speeds up. We see her change positions in the apartment to the counter, chair, floor. Then finally, she's asleep on the couch. After a moment, she wakes up tired and confused. She looks up at an old photo in front of her of a little girl on the beach with her grandmother. The reflection of Marilyn's face is over the little girl's face. She looks back down to her computer and reads what she has in her search box. Rent by the ocean. She changes her search to House for Sale by Ocean in Maine. Going through the search results, she finds an old nautical house, run down and forgotten. Her eyes light up as she looks at the one photo in the posting. In the description it says, Private Beach. She reads the disclaimer, hasn't been touched since 1860. She picks up her head to observe the busy streets of Manhattan below her, then looks back at the picture of her on the beach. She smirks. Interior New York City apartment morning. Jess comes out of her room, half asleep. She walks past her mother, not noticing her sitting at the kitchen island, and pours her coffee.
Guess what?
Ah! Why?
Well, I was on the internet all night and surprise! I bought a house!
Like, purchased a house?
Yep. It's been on the market for so long, they practically gave it to me.
So now we're moving.
Oh, of course not. It can be our summer home. We can leave as soon as I get a renter.
I'm happy for you.
Not happy for us?
Look, this is your venture. I'm just along for the ride. I should tell you, Dad's moving back to the States with his new fiancée.
Well, that is lovely. Maybe we can have them over to our new house on our private beach.
Wait, you got a beach house? How can we afford that?
I told you, they practically gave it to me.
That's suspicious. Are you sure you know what you're doing?
Jess, you don't have to watch every move I make. I made it 20 years without you, even raised you myself for a couple years after that.
That's debatable. All right. Well, I'm going to go give my boss the middle finger. I'll be back in a bit.
Marilyn yells after Jess as she leaves.
This is all very exciting.
Jess yells back.
We'll see.
Interior car, Maine, day. Marilyn and Jess are in the car driving to their new home.
I still can't believe you bought a house without looking at it first.
Your concerns have been noted.
Exterior Sea Captain's Cottage, day. The GPS says, your destination is on the right. So Marilyn takes a right onto a dirt road through the woods. It's a long, winding path that eventually opens up to the 2-story cottage. It has a wraparound porch, a balcony off the second floor that looks over the ocean on the hill. The windows are boarded up, and the lawn is full of weeds. Interior car, Maine, day. Jess anxiously stares at the house while Marilyn smiles ear to ear. They see a man standing in front of his car.
What did you do?
Exterior Sea Captain's Cottage, day. The realtor, Henry, smiles nervously. Marilyn and Jess step out of the car.
Ah, you must be Mrs. Muir.
They shake hands.
Marilyn is fine. This is my daughter, Jess.
He shakes her hand. She nods with a faint smile.
Daughter? Well, that's hard to believe.
Jess slightly coughs and rolls her eyes. Marilyn gives her a dirty look.
Well, Marilyn, what'd you think?
I think it's everything I ever wanted.
Since when?
Marilyn ignores her.
Has it really not been touched in over 100 years?
Over 100 years?
Yep, that's true.
He peeks at the car and sees their bags.
You weren't thinking about staying here, were you?
Yeah. Why?
Well, it's not in ship shape, if you get my meaning. You just don't know what you'll find in there. Also, there's no electricity.
What? Marilyn, we need to find a hotel or something.
I knew there was a possibility we couldn't stay the first night, but let's look inside and see what we have to work with.
Exterior Sea Captain's Cottage, day, moments later. Henry gets his tools and starts to take down the boards on the front porch, showing perfectly intact windows.
Have you lost your mind?
I might have.
Did your check go through? We can just back out and leave now.
Let's at least look inside first. He's going through all of this trouble.
Just then, the last wooden plank falls, and Henry opens the front door.
Here we go. I haven't even seen the inside of this place. I'm kind of excited.
Marilyn laughs, slightly flirty. Jess gives her the side eye. Interior Sea Captain's Cottage, entrance, day. The door creaks open and the sunlight fills the room with an orange glow. The dust and cobwebs fill every corner of the space. The furniture and little knickknacks are untouched. It is like a time capsule with a distinct smell of a man's perfume. The walls are white with dark planks of wood across the ceiling. To the left of the door is the kitchen, and to the right is the living room, and straight ahead are stairs with a wide dark brown banister. Above them is a chandelier, made from the ship's helm and half-melted candles. The paint on the walls is chipped, showing the dark wood underneath. They walk in slowly, looking around for any unexpected surprises.
I forgot. Here, I brought masks.
Henry passes them around. Interior Sea Captain's Cottage, living room, day. They stop dead in their tracks. In front of them is a fireplace with a large painting of a sea captain. Marilyn is captivated by his eyes, piercing through the painting. His beard wraps around his full lips, his hair is like the color of sand, and his uniform, well, Marilyn loves a man in uniform.
Who's that?
I didn't tell you? That's the previous owner. He built this house before killing himself.
The man who built this house was a sea captain? He killed himself?
Henry walks a little further into the house. Jess and Marilyn stay behind. Marilyn turns to Jess.
I know it needs work, but look at all the character. If we start cleaning now, I bet we could stay here tonight.
Look at the stairs. They're broken.
She points to the giant hole in the middle of the staircase.
You're limber. We can climb up the banister.
Typical.
Exterior Sea Captain's Cottage, day. Jess storms outside and throws her mask to the ground. Marilyn runs after her and takes off her mask.
What do you mean typical? Like I buy sea captains' homes all the time? Yeah, I better stop that habit.
You think you can do whatever you want with no consequences. I feel like I'm the mother in this relationship.
That's dumb.
Jess widens her eyes.
Perfect example. What mother calls their child dumb?
I didn't say you were dumb. I said that statement was dumb.
No, the word dumb is a dumb way to describe your feelings. But this, to put in your words, is dumb. I'm not helping you clean this place. Nope, I'm going to the beach until you decide we're leaving.
Jess grabs a blanket out of the car and walks down to the beach. Henry slowly approaches Marilyn.
You all right?
Peachy, do you know any cleaners around here?
Exterior Sea Captain's Cottage, afternoon. A car pulls up to the house with a logo for Classy Cleaners on the side. One woman and two men come out of the car and stare at the house. Marilyn looks pleased with herself as she walks over to them.
I have to get the stair fixed. In the meantime, I'll just have you clean the first floor.
Interior Sea Captain's Cottage, living room, night. Marilyn is going around making a list of what's in the house while the cleaners are around her working. Marilyn stops to look at the painting. She observes him for a moment, then writes down, Hot Captain painting. Just then, a scream from the kitchen. Exterior Sea Captain's Cottage, night. One of the cleaners is in the car. The rest of the crew are consoling her. Henry comes up behind Marilyn.
This has been very entertaining, but I better go.
What do you think scared her? She wouldn't tell me.
This is an old house.
You think this place is haunted?
I think people assume it is. The history of it makes a good recipe for it. Oh, I grabbed some candles. A housewarming gift.
He hands her a small box of candles.
You didn't have to do that.
I wanted to.
Are you flirting with me?
Oh, no. I'm married. Happily married.
Just checking. A girl could use a friend in a new town. So, no one has ever shown interest in buying this property?
It's been on the market ever since the captain's death.
The cleaners get in their car and drive away. Marilyn observes how real their fear is.
I guess that's my cue.
Thank you for your help, Henry.
Good luck.
Henry gets in his car and drives away, leaving Marilyn alone with her new home. She looks at her house, admiring it. When she turns towards the beach, she catches a glimpse of a figure in the upstairs window. She turns back towards the house, but sees nothing.
Just letting them get inside my head.
Exterior beach, night. Jess is sitting on the beach with a blanket around her entire body and head, like a poor woman begging for change. She stares at the water, then takes a swig from her tiny airplane liquor bottle. Marilyn makes her way down next to her.
Can this poor girl on the beach be my daughter?
Nope.
I think you'll like what we've done to the house.
Does it have electricity?
Come on. I think we did a good job.
We?
Me and the cleaning crew.
Ah, yes. The cleaning crew.
She says mockingly and takes a swig again.
I thought I taught you better than that. Sharing is caring.
Jess takes out another small bottle from her pocket.
You also taught me to always come prepared for a bad time. And Marilyn, I have to say, I'm having a bad time.
trust me. You're going to love it.
Marilyn opens her little bottle and takes a swig.
That'll put hair on your chest.
Interior Sea Captain's Cottage night. Jess and Marilyn are standing in the entryway.
We might have to sleep in the living room. We only got the downstairs done for obvious reasons.
I don't know if I can sleep with him staring at me.
She points to the painting.
Maybe we can make it up the stairs.
Jess inspects the gap between the first and second floor.
Maybe I'll sleep in the car.
No, look, if we can make it on that step.
I'm not sleeping on a dirty old bed.
Aren't you a little curious what's up there?
Jess accepts Marilyn's challenge. She goes over to inspect the hole. Jess puts her foot on a half-broken step and quickly goes to the next step as it gives way. She pauses for a moment.
Well, this will be an interesting way to go.
You're doing great.
She places her foot in between the posts of the rail and slowly goes up the railing. She jumps to the first solid-looking step and makes it without a hitch.
Okay, my turn.
Marilyn comes around the outside of the railing and stands on the chair sitting next to it. She climbs up to the rail and slowly goes up it, post by post. She swings her leg around, making a clean landing on the first solid step. But suddenly, she freezes.
Don't be an ass. You did better than me, okay? Just come onto the step.
Marilyn's breathing grows heavier. Jess grabs her arm and pulls her to the step. Marilyn yells.
Ah!
What was that?
So weird. It's like my leg didn't want to work.
Now we have to get down.
We'll worry about that later.
Jess and Marilyn walk down the narrow hallway. They observe the ship paintings, worldly trinkets, and rope-like finishes along the molding. Jess follows Marilyn's lead as she approaches the door at the end of the hallway. The heavy door creaks open. Interior, Sea Captain's room night. In the room is grand old furniture made from dark wood and leather. A balcony is connected to the bay windows where a gold telescope stands. They walk over to the windows to see a beautiful view of the ocean. Marilyn wipes her finger on the wall and shows no dirt or dust.
Wow.
Didn't I tell you this place was special?
Why aren't these windows boarded up?
Not sure.
She slowly makes her way to the bed and sits on it, then bounces on it a bit. She feels the blanket, looks at her hands to see there is no dust or dirt there either.
This isn't half bad, actually.
She looks under the bed to find rope holding the thin mattress.
How clever.
Jess inspects the telescope. She wipes her fingers along it and sees no dust.
Does this room seem a little too clean for its age?
Maybe it's magical.
Jess rolls her eyes and looks through the telescope. She pans the view of the ocean when suddenly a silhouette of a man appears on the balcony. She jumps back and screams.
You okay?
Jess looks through the telescope again. Nothing.
Just thought I saw something.
Don't you go running out of here, too.
Who did that?
Marilyn freezes for a moment as if she's been caught.
The cleaners might have gotten spooked.
I've changed my mind about this place.
You like it now?
I'm intrigued.
Want to sleep in here tonight?
I don't think we have a choice.
I have guys coming tomorrow. They'll get us down.
What if we have to pee?
I'll hold you over the balcony.
You're gross.
Jess and Marilyn claim their spots on the bed. Jess puts her head in her sweatshirt and lays down. Marilyn pulls the blankets back on her side. She inspects them, running her hand over the sheets.
Why are these so clean?
I really don't know.
For once, Marilyn looks slightly spooked. She climbs into bed slowly. She looks around and under the covers.
They're so soft.
You're braver than me.
They turn on their sides and go to sleep. Interior Sea Captain's room night. Jess wakes up abruptly. She picks up her phone. 3 a.m. She sits up and is immediately drawn to the fireplace. She tries to see in the dark. Her vision clears just enough to see the mist swirling in the air. She gets up to investigate, despite her better sense. Step by step, she goes closer to the anomaly. When she approaches it, she hears a laugh from all around her. She looks at her mother, sound asleep. She whispers to him,
I'm not afraid of you.
All at once, lightning strikes outside with loud thunder, making her jump and waking up Marilyn.
What the hell was that? Why are you standing over there all creepy-like?
I couldn't sleep.
More thunder and lightning startles them again. The rain starts to pour.
At least we don't have to worry about the electricity going out.
Marilyn motions, drumming and hitting a hi-hat to go along with her corny joke. Jess rolls her eyes.
It was a little funny.
The window flies open. Marilyn and Jess jump to close it. With a little struggle, they finally latch it shut.
I have a feeling he doesn't want us here.
Who?
The captain.
What, like his ghost?
Yes, his fucking ghost.
Jesus, not you too.
Marilyn goes to bed, and Jess watches out the window in the rain. Through the water and the mist, she sees a shadow again, just barely, but she sees him.
Ghosts aren't real. Go to sleep.
Interior Sea Captain's room, morning. Marilyn wakes up to a faint knock from the door downstairs. She runs to get it, forgets there's a hole in the stairs, and almost falls. She catches herself before diving in. Laughing at herself, she yells,
It's opened. I hope.
In walks two construction men, Bobby, 60s, tall, and Chris, 21, shy. Marilyn waves from the top of the stairs.
Hi. As you can see, we're stuck.
We?
Jess stands next to Marilyn, half asleep.
Please, I need coffee.
Interior, Sea Captain's kitchen, morning. Marilyn pours hot water over coffee grounds. Jess is staring at it impatiently. The men are sitting at the table, watching the water pour as well.
To start, we will need electricity as soon as possible. You saw the stairs, and windows will need to be replaced.
You say this place is over 100 years old.
Isn't that amazing?
Amazing. A headache. All the same, I guess. I have an electrician buddy of mine who can come out today. Just finished with him this morning. It's not going to be an overnight job, though. If I were you, I'd find a hotel.
That's very nice of you. Bobby, you said?
He nods.
But I'm putting all of my savings into this house. I can't really spend my money on luxuries like a hotel at the moment.
Jess's eyes widen. She stares at her mom intensely. Chris is quietly staring at Jess simultaneously. Exterior Sea Captain's Cottage day. Jess drinks her coffee on the front porch, looking at the ocean. Marilyn comes out to join her.
All your savings.
It's an investment.
You don't have a job right now.
But I will. Don't worry about it. I got it taken care of.
How much are you going to put into this summer home?
Let me worry about that.
Don't you get it? I don't trust you.
I know you don't, but this is my chance to prove you wrong. Look at this place. It's a dream. It's worth the money.
Marilyn stands up and walks into the house. Jess is furious. She texts her dad. Mom's lost it. She's putting her whole savings into this house. She scrolls through her past texts with her father, showing all her messages with no responses. She reads his last message to her. Barb and I are moving back to the States. Can't wait to finally see you. She scrolls further up to see the text she sent before that, telling him about her art show. No response. She looks through her paintings on her phone. Her face becomes more drained and filled with sadness with every image she flips through. Interior Sea Captain's bathroom, day. Jess is in the bathroom with her makeup bag. She takes off her jeans and places them on the toilet. On her thigh, you can see a great amount of scarring. She takes out a small razor blade from her bag and props her foot onto the toilet. She puts the razor on her thigh and starts to cut. Just then, Chris walks in.
Whoa!
Get out!
I'm sorry. Are you okay? Can I get help?
No!
Chris struggles with what to do. He takes a rag out of his pants pocket, comes in and shuts the door.
What the hell, dude?
Well, this looks bad. I can't see someone bleeding and not do anything about it.
He sees the other scars. There's a moment of silence. Jess calms down a bit.
I guess I would do the same if I was in your position. Next time, I just won't get caught.
Can I ask why you do it?
No, you may not.
Their faces are close together. Jess kisses him out of nowhere. He pulls back.
What?
I have to get back to work. I'm sorry. You can keep the rag.
He leaves. Interior Sea Captain's room, day. Marilyn starts to dust the fireplace. She comes across a handkerchief stuffed in the side of a chair, with the initials DG stitched in blue. She feels someone behind her and quickly turns. There's no one. She moves on to the old painting of a ship above the fireplace, then sees a shadow on the wall. She moves her body to test if the shadow follows her. It doesn't. She turns. Nothing. She sniffs something weird. She notices light smoke coming through the door. She walks towards it slowly, the mist getting bigger. She turns the corner quickly and sees Jess with Sage.
I'm clearing the bad energy. If you make fun of me, I'll leave.
Just then, Bobby yells from downstairs.
Up here.
Bobby enters the room.
I had a feeling this might be an issue. I found asbestos in the insulation.
What's that? A bug?
No, I can't give you the history of it right now, but you and your daughter can't stay here tonight, because it's very bad for you.
We stayed here last night.
That was found in the walls. See, were fine last night. But now that we've opened them up, it's not a good idea. There's a couple of other things. I'll just read you my list. The stairs are too steep, not up to code. I'll have to start from scratch. Your plumbing needs to be upgraded. Your heating isn't really sufficient. I would suggest replacing that before winter. And finally, you do have some water damage and mold. Doesn't look like black mold, but I like to take care of that sooner than later.
My head is spinning. How much is all of this going to cost me?
It can be anywhere between $10,000 to $20,000 over your initial budget.
Marilyn sits for a moment, overwhelmed.
What am I doing here? I'm way over my head. What was I thinking?
I would just burn it and get the insurance personally.
One of the bay windows flings open, making a loud bang. Marilyn runs over and shuts it.
I love this house.
But is it worth going broke?
Marilyn puts her face in her hand.
I'm going to have to sell this place.
Didn't it take like 160 years for it to sell the first time?
Are you trying to kill me?
No, I'm just trying to say, burn it. Start over. Or...
Marilyn looks hopeful he'll say something comforting.
Is there something you can sell?
Marilyn faces the floor for a moment, then picks up her head with an idea.
Actually, yes.
Exterior, car, night. Marilyn sits next to Jess on top of their car.
This is crazy.
Yeah, sleeping in the car isn't ideal.
Let's just go back to Manhattan and forget we ever did this.
We kind of can't go back anymore.
What? You said this was just our summer home.
I had to make a pretty tough choice. I'm putting the apartment on the market.
Are you fucking kidding me? You're selling our apartment.
I'm not too thrilled about it either, but renting is just not going to cut it. Our tenant is only staying for the summer anyway. This house has too many repairs and I can't leave it to rot.
This is the stupidest thing you have ever done.
Jess goes inside the car and locks the doors. Marilyn takes a deep breath of regret. She yells into the car window that's slightly cracked.
Look, I made a mistake. Is that what you want to hear?
I don't want to hear anything right now.
Exterior Sea Captain's cottage night. Jess is sleeping in the car while Marilyn is sitting on top of the hood gazing at the stars, wrapped in a blanket. She closes her eyes slowly. Interior, dream, Sea Captain's room, night. In Marilyn's dream, she's laying on her new bed in the Sea Captain's bedroom, looking up at the ceiling in silence. Just then she hears him. Captain Gregg.
Madam, I need you to leave at once. This is still my house.
Marilyn turns her head and sees Captain Gregg standing over her. Marilyn is not alarmed.
So, we finally meet.
She stands up and Captain Gregg takes a step back.
I'm Marilyn.
Captain Daniel Gregg.
Nice to meet you.
I can't say I feel the same. I am at my wit's end. I've been trying to get your attention for 40 hours. I order you to leave this house.
Order me? Typical man to think he can order a woman around. Glad that sage worked so well. I see negative energy lingering all over this room.
Then you'll leave?
No, I'm not leaving. I put my life savings into this house, not for any fun pillows or decals, but for the comfort in knowing I can sleep soundly without getting cancer. You let this place go to hell.
What do you expect me to do?
Let me fix it.
Why would I let you do that?
Because I think I'm a pretty fucking good roommate.
Blasted woman. I've known whores with better manners than you.
Thank you.
Look, my afterlife is meant to be peaceful. I need my solitude. Since you've moved in, there have been loud noises and I can't take it.
The loud noises won't last for long. Maybe another month or so.
A month or so? And what about my room?
What about it?
It's my room, not yours.
I don't plan on changing it if that's what you're worried about. I kind of like it the way it is.
You like it?
Look, I'll promise to keep things almost exactly the same. As long as you promise to be civil.
Captain Gregg observes her face for a moment, then his eyes soften.
I suppose I'll let you stay. For now.
You'll let me?
Thank me later, Mary.
Marilyn.
Captain Gregg comes close to her, smirking. She starts to blush as the tension grows. Captain Gregg bends down slowly to whisper in her ear.
Perhaps it's time for you to wake up. There's a skunk coming your way.
Exterior Sea Captain's Cottage night. Marilyn wakes up to a skunk walking toward her. She screams and wakes up Jess.
Jess! I don't care how pissed you are. Let me in this car right now.
Jess sees the skunk and quickly opens the door for Marilyn.
Thank you.
Don't thank me. There was no way I was living with you after you got skunked.
Exterior Sea Captain's Cottage day. Marilyn is watching a video on her phone on how to garden. The house has plastic all around it. She pulls weeds out while watching her video. Just then, Henry pulls up to the house.
That realtor guy is here. I'm going to the beach.
Yes, enjoy the fresh air.
Hi, Marilyn. How are things going?
She stands up and brushes herself off.
Not bad. The house is trying to kill me. No big deal. What brings you over here?
I just wanted to check in on you ladies. I felt bad watching you go into that dark house.
I appreciate you, Henry.
She notices her hand twitching. Her anxiety builds up. She hides her hand behind her back.
Hey, can you do me a favor?
Of course.
Interior, exterior, Henry's car day. Henry is sitting in the back seat of his car with Marilyn straddled on top of him. She takes off her shirt. He looks so happy as he frantically unbuttons his pants. Interior Sea Captain's room day. From Captain Greg's bedroom bay windows, you can see them having sex in the back of the car, and you get the sense that they are being watched. Exterior beach day. Jess is on the beach soaking up the sun and drawing in her notepad. She has a partial image of Captain Greg sketched. Suddenly she hears a crash coming from the house. Exterior Sea Captain's Cottage day. As Jess runs up the hill, she sees her mother coming out of Henry's car. On the house is a large broken tree.
What happened?
That almost killed me.
Are you okay?
I'm alright. Chris, you alright?
I'm good.
Jess observes Henry as he drives away. She then glances to Marilyn.
Are you kidding?
Look, I have more important things to worry about right now.
Don't do this again.
Just shut up.
Jess turns around to the beach with rage. Chris hesitates, but follows Jess. Marilyn walks up to Bobby.
How much more is this going to cost me?
Hard to say. I can see some damage from here.
Marilyn storms off.
Like this house didn't have enough problems to begin with.
Exterior beach day. Jess takes off her clothes. Underneath is her bathing suit. She slowly goes towards the water.
Jess!
She stops before touching the ocean.
Hello.
You seem upset.
Why do you care?
Because I do.
You don't have to worry about me. I know what you saw was shocking, but I've been doing it for years and I'm still here. Can you try and forget about it? It's really not as bad as it looks.
Chris looks down, trying to pick his next words carefully. But then he notices her notepad and her sketch of Captain Greg.
You like to draw.
It's a hobby. I mean, I wanted to make it my career, but then I grew up. Nice day for a swim, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's pretty cool you guys have a private beach.
Not sure it's worth a broken house.
I've never worked on a house this old before. It's so delicate.
That's a very specific word. Almost like you're talking about a person.
Well, I think houses have their own personalities. Like your drawings. They just take on a life of their own, you know?
Never thought of it that way. So, you like working on houses?
Yeah, I want to be my own boss someday. Hey, maybe you can draw my logo.
I'll hold you to that. Want to go swimming?
I have to work.
Jess shrugs and goes into the water. Chris smiles, watching her. Chris jumps and runs back up the hill. Exterior Sea Captain's Cottage day. Bobby walks up to Marilyn, who is standing by the broken tree.
You'll be able to sleep in the house tonight.
Thank God. I need good news right now.
Well, I hate to ask, but do you know when you're going to have the rest of the money?
Soon.
I don't work for free. I just couldn't see you and your daughter living in your car.
I promise. I appreciate everything you are doing.
Interior Sea Captain's room night. Marilyn is sleeping with her candle burning next to her. The glow from the candlelight on her face grows brighter. She opens her eyes to see the fireplace is lit. Interior dream, Sea Captain's room night. In her dream, Captain Greg is sitting by the fireplace. She watches him.
I'm surprised at you, Marilyn.
You remembered my name.
Why would you go and do a thing like that?
What did I do?
You and that man, you just made introductions, did you not?
I had a feeling that tree was you.
She sits up. He turns his head, not amused.
I thought I wanted you here, but I changed my mind.
Too bad. I'm staying.
He stands up fast and walks towards her. She stands up with the same intensity.
Why are you here?
Peace of mind.
You can't get peace of mind anywhere. Why here?
Marilyn snaps with a very honest and raw answer.
Because my roots are here.
What do you mean?
Most of my family is from here. People I don't know or who are past. I saw this house and I felt like it was calling me. I like the idea of going back home. After losing my job, I guess I needed to find purpose again. And I thought this house was it. I thought saving this house might save me.
From what I saw today, I don't think even God can save you.
This coming from the man who said he slept with whores? At least I didn't have to pay for it.
You watch yourself.
Or what?
The captain is stumped. He huffs and walks towards the fireplace.
You talk as if you're a man, but you look... Are all women of this time like you?
I like to think I'm one of a kind.
Your daughter doesn't seem happy with you either.
My daughter is never happy with me.
He sits back down, staring at the fire again. Marilyn takes the seat next to him.
When I built this house, I imagined a whole new life. This place was my purpose once, too. When my days as a sea captain were over, I thought settling down was the next step. I soon realized I couldn't settle down. I had to keep busy. Retirement didn't suit me. When the house was done, I had nothing left.
Is that why you killed yourself?
Yes. Oh, wait, I did not kill myself.
Sorry, that's what I heard.
You shouldn't listen to gossip.
Then what happened?
What business is it of yours?
Marilyn throws her hands up to surrender.
You're right. Not my business.
An awkward silence fills the room.
Did it hurt?
Did you die? No, I don't think so.
That's how I want to go. No pain. Maybe in my sleep. Are you stuck here, or do you choose to be here?
Am I being interrogated?
It's not every day you have a conversation with a ghost.
Except in your case, it's 2 days. You want some real stories, I should tell you about how I lived my life, not how it ended. I traveled everywhere, did things mothers should never hear about.
He looks for a shocking reaction from her, but instead, she is intrigued.
You can hear this, I think.
I'm sure I got stories Captain Greggs shouldn't hear about.
I believe that.
So, I can stay?
I thought it wasn't my choice.
It's not, but I would like us to be friends.
All right, madam. Friends it is.
She sticks out her hand for a handshake. He nervously brings his hand out and touches hers. A chill runs up both their arms, like an electric shock subtly between them. Interior Sea Captain's kitchen, day. Marilyn is reading ingredients from her phone. A chainsaw is heard outside. Jess walks past the kitchen, slowly backs up.
Have you lost your mind?
I've never made a pie before. Why not start now?
Captain Gregg appears behind Jess. No one sees him.
Are you ill?
Jess, that's not funny. It's never too late to try new things.
Jess walks out of sight, but Marilyn calls her back.
Hey, wait.
Jess backs up a few steps. The captain observes their relationship.
Yes?
I'm sorry we fought yesterday.
I'm sorry you have a sex addiction.
The captain laughs, and Jess looks towards his direction, confused. The captain stops laughing and waves his hand to see if Jess can see him. She doesn't react. She leaves, and Marilyn looks defeated. There is hammering in the background as she's trying to read. She adds eggs to a bowl and reads her ingredients again. She keeps her eyes on the phone while feeling around for oil. The banging noise startles her, and the egg flies out of her hand and breaks on the floor.
Fuck me!
She bends down to clean up her mess. When she's done, she can't get up. Captain Gregg bends down, confused. Bobby walks by, and she waves him down.
Bobby, my guy, can you give me a hand?
Bobby comes in and grabs her arm. Her breathing grows heavy. He lifts her into a chair. Captain Gregg stands behind them.
Are you okay?
I'm fine. I just need to rest.
Your hand is twitching.
We see her hand violently shaking.
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
You need anything else?
I think I'm good. Thank you.
Bobby leaves the room, and Marilyn's phone rings. She answers.
Any buyers yet? No. I'm not going lower.
She hangs up, stares at her mess, then dials another number. Captain Gregg looks at her phone over her shoulder, then makes an annoyed face. Exterior Henry's car day. Marilyn is putting her pants back on while looking at her bedroom window through the trees.
Good idea meeting in the woods. Wouldn't want anyone catching us.
Yeah, that would be awkward.
It looks like the house is coming a long way. Plastic's down.
That's probably as far as the house is going to get.
What do you mean?
I'm running out of money. I'm selling my apartment, but my poor contractor needs to get paid. I'll have to live without electricity for a bit.
What if I spotted you?
Why would you do that?
Because we're friends now.
What a way to make a woman feel special, Henry.
She walks away in a huff. Henry runs after her and grabs her arm.
Look, I know it's weird. I'm offering you money when we know very little about each other. But if you're getting your money soon, then it's really not a big deal.
Won't your wife notice?
By the time she does, you'll have paid me already.
He goes in for a kiss and pauses, waiting for Marilyn to kiss him back. She doesn't look happy, but she also doesn't have another choice. She reluctantly kisses him back. Exterior Sea Captain's Cottage day. Chris is eating a sandwich with Jess on the porch.
Do you believe in ghosts?
I don't know. I've had some things happen where I thought, ghost? But I haven't had a full ghost stand in front of me. You?
I'm pretty sure this house is haunted.
Really?
You haven't noticed anything weird here?
That painting in the living room freaks me out. But other than that, no. You got any more drawings?
Actually, yes.
In the notebook, she shows her finished drawing of Captain Greg.
I can't believe you don't do this for a living. You're so good.
I gave it a good 5 years.
And it never went anywhere?
No. Maybe it's not what I'm meant to do. I still enjoy it, but I was thinking on the car ride up here, money ruins everything. I would be making art for other people and not myself anymore. I noticed my thoughts went from how do I express myself to what will sell.
Marilyn walks up to the porch.
Hey, guys.
Why are you so happy?
It's just a good day.
How's your pie going?
I think I'm going to try photography or sewing, maybe.
Marilyn goes inside the house.
I better get to the store if I'm going to eat dinner tonight.
I get off work in a little bit. I'll come with you.
If that's how you want to spend your time, you are welcome to come.
Interior Sea Captain's room day. Marilyn sits on her bed and notices her arm is still twitching. She goes to her dresser and opens her top drawer to take out muscle relaxants. She fidgets trying to get it open, pops 2 pills, and chases them with water. She takes a couple of deep breaths and lays down. She closes her eyes and listens to the breeze coming through her window. Just then, she can hear Captain Greg's voice.
What are the pills for?
Marilyn is half asleep. She mumbles.
Headache.
Is that all?
She shakes her head no slowly. She faintly hears the sound of Jess running up the stairs.
Mom!
Marilyn is still half asleep.
Where are your keys?
Marilyn points to her dresser while her eyes are closed. Jess grabs the keys and sees the drawer partly opened with Marilyn's pills. She reads the bottle, looks at her mom sleeping, then leaves the room. Interior, Jess's room, night. Chris is hanging up paintings in Jess's room while she sits on her bed watching. He takes a break and sits next to her.
These are pretty amazing. You did all of them?
I did.
There's an awkward silence that Jess wants to break immediately.
Tell me your secrets.
I don't really have any.
There has to be something.
He thinks for a moment.
This isn't a secret, but I'm an orphan.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah. Both of my parents died in a car accident. My dad was drunk.
Oh, my God.
I was young. I really don't remember them.
Where did you live?
My aunts.
I'm so sorry.
I didn't tell you that to bring the party down. I want you to know me. Now it's your turn.
Well, you know my secret.
Yeah. How long have you been doing that?
I think it started when my dad moved out. My mom cheated, so he moved to England.
Wait, he moved to another country?
He had a job offer there. Timing was just too perfect. My mom ruins everything. I've had to take care of her all my life. My dad said if he ever moved back to the States, he would let me live with him.
And he never came back.
I haven't seen him since I was 12. A video chat here and there. He's moving back soon, though, him and his fiancée. I finally get to see him.
Are you nervous?
I was, but Now I'm just excited.
They sit in silence for a moment. Then Jess jumps up.
Oh, I made something for you.
She goes to her dresser and grabs her notepad. She jumps back on the bed and flips it open to a drawing. A cartoon version of Chris holding a hammer over his shoulder, smiling.
For your logo. The text can go under him or something.
Chris holds it for a moment with a blank expression, silent.
You hate it.
Jess, no one's ever made something for me before.
Really?
I don't hate it. I love it.
He goes to hug her, she flinches back. They stare at each other awkwardly until Chris looks back down at his drawing.
It's so freaking cool.
Jess breaks the awkwardness by going over to her closet. She pulls out a board game, the Ouija board.
Want to try the Ouija board?
How old are you?
Come on, it'll be fun. With just candlelight. It's perfect.
Chris meets her on the floor with a candle. She opens up the board.
How do you work this thing?
Put your 2 fingers here, and I'll do the same.
She moves the planchet in circles.
Okay. Captain Greg, are you here?
They wait in silence. Nothing is happening.
I said, Captain Greg, are you here?
Maybe he's sleeping.
Interior, dream, sea captain's room, night. Captain Greg and Marilyn are laughing by the fire.
That was the last I saw of the poor chum. I miss being alive.
The afterlife not what you thought it would be?
The peace and quiet used to be nice, but being here with you makes me miss connection. Something I didn't think I'd ever long for again.
I miss connection too, and I'm still with the living.
What about your boyfriend?
He's not my boyfriend. Were you ever married, Captain?
I almost was once. She was beautiful, and I'm sure she could bear many boys. She had that look about her, but at the end, it was just her face I fell in love with. And 2 other things, but where are my manners?
Just say it, Captain. She had nice boobs.
They are. Magnificent.
No one's called me that before.
Oh, really? I feel like I can say anything to you and you understand me.
She smirks, then notices the sun coming up.
I guess I should wake up now.
She sadly looks out the window.
Why so sad?
What makes you think I'm sad?
I can tell.
All right. I wish you were real.
I am real.
You're probably a symptom.
A symptom of what?
Marilyn regrets bringing up symptoms and makes something up.
Lunacy?
How can I prove it?
Marilyn shrugs. The captain walks over and kneels down in front of her so their eyes meet. He holds her face, a single tear runs down her cheek, and he kisses her passionately. Interior, sea captain's room, morning. Marilyn wakes up abruptly in a cold sweat. She lays there for a moment, catching her breath.
Must be this ocean air.
She suddenly has an idea. She looks around for her phone, goes into her notes, and starts typing. She looks at her laptop laying in a box. She runs to it, turns it on, and it dies.
Damn it!
Interior, sea captain's cottage day. Marilyn runs through the house with her laptop. She passes by the holes in the walls and walks down on the half-finished stairs and continues running out the door past Bobby and Chris. Interior, exterior, car, morning. Marilyn is in her car with her computer plugged in, writing a script. She looks excited and completely occupied. No one else in the world exists. A car pulls up next to her. It's Henry. He waves at her, puts his window down, and yells.
Marilyn!
She is completely consumed with her writing. He finally gets out of the car and taps on her window, scaring her.
Oh, Jesus!
Not Jesus. Just me.
She rolls down her window.
Didn't mean to scare you. But I brought that can of gasoline you wanted.
Perfect timing. I'm almost out.
She jumps out of the car and gives him a hug. As she hugs him, she looks at her bedroom window, feeling guilty. She backs up a little and takes the can out of his hands. He goes in for a kiss. She turns her face so he kisses her cheek.
Is everything okay?
Of course it is.
She goes in for a kiss. He grabs her around the waist.
Well, you're in a mood today.
Only when I'm around you.
Marilyn pushes away from him and turns to put gas in her car.
You're writing?
Yeah. Just some ideas.
Oh, what about?
You're going to laugh.
Scout's honor. I won't.
Well, it's about a sea captain.
Oh, no. This house got to you, huh?
I guess you can say that. I've been having the weirdest dreams that he's talking to me.
Ooh, that's spooky.
Not exactly spooky, but it's not normal. I've had them every night since I've been here.
Maybe it's time you got out of the house. I just so happen to have a boat. I can bring it by and show you around.
That does sound fun. Jess would love that.
Well, I meant...
And she can bring Chris? This is such a good idea.
Such a good idea.
Exterior boat day. Henry and Marilyn are standing next to each other on the boat. They are laughing and smiling, but he's trying to act professional, like he's just their realtor.
So, Jess, you like it in Maine so far?
I haven't seen much of it yet. This boat's pretty nice. I bet your wife loves it.
She does.
I love it too.
She strokes his hand and he jerks back, laughing nervously. Chris leans in to whisper to Jess.
What's this guy's problem? He's all twitchy.
He's pretending like he's not having an affair with my mom.
Wait, what?
Another boat comes by and Henry starts to act like a tour guide.
This house over here is for sale, in perfect condition.
What are you doing?
I'm selling you a house, if anyone asks.
Marilyn's phone rings, and it's her New York City realtor.
Hi. Oh, that's great. I'll call you later. I'm on a boat. Bye. You will never guess.
What?
I got an offer on my apartment.
She hugs him excited, and Jess gets more frustrated.
Cross your fingers. I can pay you back soon.
See? I told you it would all work out.
Chris looks concerned for Jess. Her face turns stiff. In her rage, she stands up and jumps into the ocean.
Jess!
Henry stops the boat and jumps in after her. He comes up from the water with her.
Let me go! I know how to swim, jackass!
Henry releases his hold on her as soon as she touches the boat. They both climb back on. Marilyn puts her hand out, Jess slaps it away, and gets up herself.
Are you okay?
What is this exactly? You're borrowing money from him now?
We'll discuss this later.
I don't want to. I'm tired of your bullshit.
She looks over at Henry.
You know she'll never love you, right? She isn't capable of love.
Maybe it's time we go home, Henry.
I agree.
Exterior beach afternoon. Jess walks ahead of the group towards the cottage.
I'm staying at Chris's tonight.
Interior, Chris's car, night.
My place isn't that great. I just want to warn you. My roommate's a real slop.
I don't care, Chris. I don't understand how she can just do what she wants without thinking of how it affects other people.
I'll sleep on the couch tonight. You can have my bed.
You don't have to do that.
I want you to have it. I'll be fine.
Interior, Sea Captain's cottage, night. Marilyn walks into a strangely quiet and dark house. She looks to the right and sees a light switch. She flips it on, and the room is filled with light. She smiles, turning all the lights on in the rest of the downstairs. She wants to be happy, but she's distracted by her fight with Jess. Interior, Sea Captain's cottage, hallway, night. Marilyn slowly makes it up the stairs, looking all around like it's the first time, noticing details she didn't see before. She goes along the hallway, touching the walls, and looks up at the ceiling. Her eyes squint. She sees a faint outline of a square. Cut to, she has a step stool placed under the door. She climbs it and feels around the edge, then pushes up and it pops off. She moves it to the side and grabs her cell phone. She turns the camera on, recording video, scanning the room above. She plays back the video and sees 3 trunks and a collection of old things.
Jess would love this.
Cut to, Marilyn is in the hallway setting up a ladder.
Thank you, Bobby.
She slowly climbs up with her phone again. Her legs are shaking.
This is not the time, legs.
She climbs over the side and makes it to the attic. Interior, Sea Captain's cottage, attic, night. Marilyn investigates the dusty old trunks. She tries to open one up, locked. The captain appears, unseen, with a smile on his face. He loves that she's sneaking around his things. She moves to the next one, locked. Captain Greg grabs a key hanging on the wall near him and quickly places it by the 3rd trunk before Marilyn gets to it. Marilyn goes to the 3rd trunk and successfully notices the key on the ground. She tries it. She lifts the top, coughing from the dust. Inside the trunk is a dress and some letters. She lifts it up. It's a wedding dress. She opens the note attached to it. Note. My darling, I have traveled the world and have seen many things, but the best adventure is yet to come, our adventure together. When I was in Italy, I was assured this dress was the highest of fashions. I want only the best for you. Marilyn takes the dress out and sees a full-length mirror across the room. She brings the dress over to the mirror and imagines she's wearing it, holding it in front of herself. Captain Greg appears next to her as if posing for a portrait. Marilyn walks back to the trunk and puts the dress away. The captain disappears again, and she keeps snooping. She moves the pile of letters to reveal a photograph in a simple frame. a girl who looks identical to Marilyn.
What in holy hell is this?
She looks in the back of the photo, hoping she can find a name. Nothing. Interior Sea Captain's cottage, living room night. Marilyn has the photo with her. She sets it on the mantel by the captain's portrait. She sits in front of the fireplace with Captain Greg's painting staring back at her. She plugs in her computer and starts typing.
The plot thickens.
She types a few notes but seems distracted. She shuts the laptop in a huff and keeps looking at the painting next to the photo. She grabs her blanket and lays down. Eventually, she falls asleep. Interior Dream Sea Captain's cottage, living room night. Captain Greg is sitting on the other side of the couch by her feet. Marilyn opens her eyes and sees him watching her.
Hello, Marilyn.
Hello, Captain.
She sits up and moves over, snuggling with Captain Greg. He holds her.
So you have light.
I kind of miss the dark.
But then how would you have found my treasure?
Why does she look like me?
I assume a distant relative. I'm afraid I haven't been completely honest with you. She's the reason I retired here. I was going to surprise her with this house. We'd met once, had a remarkable night, and I had to leave. But we wrote each other for months. It was then I decided I would give it all up for her.
What happened?
By the time I purchased the land, I discovered she had been newly married.
She never told you?
It wasn't until I confronted her. She said she enjoyed our letters, but she never expected I'd leave the sea for her, nor did she want me to.
She liked the attention and led you on?
Her name was Lillian. You see, that's why I was so enraged when you arrived. It felt like you were here to torture me. I soon realized you may look like her, but you are most certainly not her.
I can't believe the coincidence.
I don't believe in coincidences. I do believe I was meant to reside in Maine and build this house. Not for Lillian, but for you.
He kisses her on the head.
But, my dear, I am afraid I am doing you a disservice by being here.
Why do you say that?
I saw you leave with your friend today on his boat.
He's nothing.
He is alive. And probably not the healthiest friend to have in comparison. Marilyn, don't tell me you've given up.
Given up on what?
Finding someone special, a heartbeat.
She sits up and looks at him.
Look, I don't have a future with anyone. You may think you're trying to save me, but you've already done that.
What do you mean?
I'm dying.
Silence fills the room.
I found out I have ALS.
What is ALS?
She grabs her cell phone and looks up the disease. She reads from it.
Lou Gehrig's disease, also known as ALS, a disease affecting motor neurons of the spinal cord, which causes progressive weakness and atrophy of the muscles.
Is that what your shaking is?
She nods her head, yes.
The day I found out was the day I got fired.
He pulls her in to hold her again.
Even if this is all just a dream, it's the best dream. You've given me something to look forward to in this shitty life.
Does your daughter know?
No. I'm sure she'll throw a party when I tell her.
Why is your relationship so strained?
Andrew, my ex, wasn't the best husband. He worked late all the time, went out with his buddies when he wasn't working. He was good to Jess when he saw her, which was rare, but for the most part, he avoided us.
How could anyone want to avoid you?
My thoughts exactly. So I found another man who appreciated me. Andrew didn't notice for at least a year. Jess caught me, actually. Told her dad. We got divorced, and she's never forgiven me for it. I don't blame her. I'm a mess.
Well, you're my mess, and I'll be here waiting for you on the other side. I promise.
I wish that were true.
Interior Sea Captain's cottage, living room night. She wakes up with tears in her eyes. She looks at the photo and the painting. She gets up, grabs the photo, and shoves it under the couch. Interior Sea Captain's cottage, kitchen day. Marilyn is reading her phone with ingredients in front of her. She has spices, frozen chicken, and vegetables. Bobby walks in.
Roof will be done by the end of today.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Bobby walks away. Then Jess walks in. She looks at the situation and shakes her head.
Marilyn?
Jess?
We got an invitation in the mail.
For what?
Dad's wedding.
Why am I invited?
I don't know. It says you and me. Are we going?
I guess we should.
I'll reply then.
Jess, wait.
You change your mind?
No. It's nothing.
Fine. Wait. His wedding is in 2 days in Boston.
Someone got knocked up.
Why didn't he tell me he was back?
Because that's what he does.
Great. I have to find something to wear.
We're still going?
Yes, we have to. I haven't seen him in so long. You don't have to come, but I'm going.
No. I'll go.
By the way, Chris is coming too.
Marilyn looks down at the boiling water and ingredients and takes off her apron.
I'm in the mood for pizza anyway.
Exterior Sea Captain's cottage day. Marilyn walks outside in the fresh air, walking down to the beach with her laptop. Exterior beach, day to night. She is writing as the waves crash in front of her. She periodically looks up at the house, looking for inspiration. The day passes by, the sun sets in front of her, and she packs up her things and walks to her house. Interior Sea Captain's room, night. She's sitting by the fireplace typing, the end. She looks so happy and clicks print. The printer is on the floor. She sits next to it, patiently waiting. She takes the pages and grabs a pen and starts marking it. Time goes by and she falls asleep in her chair. Interior dream, Sea Captain's room, night. Captain Greg is standing by the bay windows reading some of her pages. His face is tight. Marilyn opens her eyes and looks around for her papers, then sees he's reading them.
That wasn't for you to see, Captain.
He turns around and throws the papers to the ground.
Hey!
She gets up to collect them.
I'm guessing you didn't like it?
I can't imagine why, seeing as you decided my personal life was to be displayed on paper. Secrets I told you in confidence, written out in some strange format. Is this to be one of your television shows?
I was thinking about it. I don't know.
Using my name and my likeness, I forbid you.
Your stories are amazing. An audience would eat this shit up.
They are my stories.
Okay. I'm sorry. I got inspired.
She picks up the rest of the papers and stands up.
I don't have a lot going on for me right now. And as much as I tried to get myself a hobby, all I'm good at is entertainment. I've never written anything before, and I have a story that is mine.
He stares at her.
Yours. But told by me. I would love to leave something like that in this world. People will eventually forget about my directing and my long list of credentials. But a story I write can live on forever in a movie or a book.
Why is being remembered so important to you?
It's not to you. What about your painting downstairs? Who was that for? You had no family to keep it for you. You just had it done thinking you'll be remembered as the brave Captain Daniel Gregg. Look, I really need this. It could be almost a year before I see any money for my apartment. And what I get from that still can't cover what I'm doing to fix your house. And then there's my future medical bills. I'll need a nurse to wipe my ass at some point. I could make real money off of this script with my connections.
You will not use my stories. Write your own.
You said Lillian was my ancestor. That gives me some right.
If you feel a technicality is more important than my feelings, then I guess we have nothing more to say to each other.
Captain Greg disappears and Marilyn is left by the fireplace in rage. Exterior Boston wedding day. They pull up to a large old home. There are cars parked all over the street.
Go ahead in. I'll find parking. Or parking, as they say.
Chris giggles and Jess ignores her. Interior Boston wedding day. Jess and Chris get out of the car and walk up to the house. They lightly tap on the door and it swings open on its own. They hear people in the backyard and follow the sound through the house. Jess notices pictures on the fireplace mantel and redirects to look at them.
The party sounds like it's over here.
I know, I just want to look around a little. Figure out whose house we're in.
Jess sees her dad Andrew and his fiancée Barb. As she moves through the house, there are pictures of 3 kids with them.
Oh. Your dad's girlfriend has kids?
I guess so.
They go towards the staircase and look at more pictures of the kids along the wall.
Is this his house?
Jess stops dead in front of an image of her father in the hospital holding newborn babies.
I think these kids are his.
Jess starts to hyperventilate.
What's going on here?
Just then, her dad walks by and notices Jess. He's terrified.
Jessica?
Jess turns quickly.
I'm so glad you could make it.
What the fuck, Dad?
Honey, I can explain.
You have a Whole other family?
This is why I wanted you to come. I wanted all this out in the open.
What? You thought I wouldn't make a scene at your wedding?
It's just that it's a day of celebration, and I wanted to celebrate with you.
Jess looks at the family photos. Andrew is at soccer games, picnics, birthdays, etc. She notices multiple pictures of him and the kids at a Red Sox game.
How long have you lived here?
Andrew stays quiet. Marilyn walks into the house and is surprised to see everyone standing right there.
I found parking.
Mom, we need to leave.
Please don't, honey. I really want you all to be here. Even you, young man.
I'm Chris.
Andrew.
Hi, Marilyn.
You never left the country, did you?
Wait, what?
It's true, but I want to make a fresh start with both of you.
You're an idiot.
At that moment, a little girl, 7, in a fancy dress, walks up to Andrew.
Daddy, I can't find my basket of flowers.
I'll help you in a second, Angel. Can you go outside for me?
She does as she's told. Jess storms out. Chris follows her.
I'm sorry we weren't the picture-perfect family you really wanted, dear. Have a good life.
She turns to leave, but Andrew stops her.
After you texted me about your condition, I thought you were right. She needs at least one parent. I was trying to make it right.
If I knew any of this, I would have never told you.
Marilyn leaves. Interior car a day. Chris is in the back seat holding Jess as she cries. Marilyn looks through her rearview mirror at her broken daughter. Music serenades their ride home. Watching the trees go by, Chris holding Jess, and finally their arrival to the cottage. Interior, Jess's room, night. Jess is on her bed crying while Chris is sitting beside her, comforting her.
I'm so sorry, Jess.
You really need to stop apologizing.
I don't know what else to say.
Don't say anything.
Do you want me to leave?
Do you want to leave?
Of course not. But if you need alone time, I can give you that.
I know I'm a lot to handle, so you can go.
You're not a lot to handle, Jess. I'm trying to be there for you.
Chris.
What?
You're excused.
I'm excused?
I'm not really a good time right now. You can go.
I don't want to go.
Well, I want you to go. Now please, leave me alone.
If it's not obvious by now, I have feelings for you. I don't want to leave you like this.
Jess lays in silence. Chris waits for a moment, then leaves. Interior, Sea Captain's cottage, living room night. Marilyn is emailing Ray. Email. Dear Ray, I have here a rough draft of my script. I was hoping you'd take a look at it. Tell me what you think. Thanks, Marilyn. She hits send right when Chris walks out the front door. Marilyn shuts her laptop and gets up. Interior, Sea Captain's cottage night. She runs up the stairs, but her legs give out and she falls tumbling down the stairs.
Fuck!
Jess hears the noise and runs out of her room.
What the fuck, Mom?
I just lost my footing.
Jess looks confused.
What's going on? Why can't you get up?
It's just a muscle spasm or something. I'll be fine. It was a long day. I'm just tired.
Jess goes over and helps her.
No, you really don't have to.
I'm not gonna leave you here.
Interior, Sea Captain's room, night. Marilyn sits on her bed.
Thanks. I'll just get some sleep, and I'll be fine.
In your clothes?
I'm too tired for pajamas. It's no big deal. I'll see you in the morning.
Mom, you're not telling me something.
I don't want to get into it tonight.
Well, I do. Why were you going to sleep at the bottom of the stairs?
I wasn't going to sleep at the bottom of the stairs. I don't think.
Yeah, Mom. Make jokes.
Look, I don't want to talk about it right now.
Tell me.
Fine. I have ALS.
No, you don't.
I do. Right now. It's just little spasms and random stupid shit, but eventually... Well, you know.
How long have you known?
Since the day I got fired.
That's why you bought this house. You want to die here.
I thought it was a new adventure.
When were you going to tell me?
I don't know. It's not the easiest conversation to have. Please, don't cry.
You're so selfish.
Jess runs to her room. Marilyn is breathing deep from exhaustion. She lays still until her eyes grow heavy. Interior, dream, Sea Captain's room, night. Captain Gregg is sitting on the edge of her bed.
I'm sorry I yelled at you.
I'm sorry, too.
Jess is very upset.
I didn't want her to find out, ever, if I could help it. But especially not today. She finds out she's losing me and doesn't really have a dad all at once.
I'm guessing the wedding was not victorious.
He was living in the States the whole time with a secret family.
Captain Gregg holds her hand as she's lying on her bed.
Want to dance?
I can't move right now, so dancing is out of the question.
Darling, when you're with me, you can do anything.
He stands and puts his hand out. She takes his hand and stands up with him, suddenly wearing the wedding dress from the attic, and they waltz.
I didn't know I could do this.
The captain spins her close into a kiss. Interior Sea Captain's room, morning. Marilyn wakes up with a large smile on her face.
Maybe these dreams are a side effect of the pills. I better keep taking them then.
It's a stormy morning. The rain is coming down hard and thunder is loud. She gets a text message. I love the script. I want to discuss buying it. She pops up excited. She replies, that's great. Interior Sea Captain's cottage, living room, morning. Marilyn comes down the stairs dressed and ready for the day with her laptop. She sits in front of Captain Gregg's portrait.
I'm sorry, Captain. I have to do it. I need the money, and I'm talking to a painting. When am I going to wake up? He's not real. None of this is real. I made up the story myself. I have nothing to be sorry about.
Oh, yes, you do.
The thunder grows louder with his rage. Marilyn is frozen. She sets down her coffee slowly and turns around to see the captain standing in the room with her in real life.
I must be dreaming.
You're selling my story.
He comes closer to her in a rage. Marilyn quickly stands up, scared for the first time in her life.
Come on, fight back like you always do.
I'm losing my mind.
She starts to panic, and he looks surprised.
No, I'm the one with the problem here, not you. You are going to forget selling my story and never speak of this again.
She hides her face in her hands like a little kid.
Marilyn!
Don't hurt me!
He suddenly feels like a monster.
I would never.
Stay away from me!
She backs away from him. As she stumbles away, she steps on the photo of her ancestor that was partly hidden under the couch. She looks at her broken face on the ground. Her breathing quickens.
Stay back. Don't come any closer.
Captain Gregg stays where he is. She finally makes it to the front door and leaves. Interior, car, day. The storm grows as she drives away with the fear of God in her. Jump to, she pulls in front of a plain brick building. She stares at it for a moment. Interior, Historical Society, day. Marilyn walks in. There's an older lady sitting at the desk reading.
Excuse me.
May I help you?
The woman at the desk takes off her glasses.
I was hoping to find some information about some ancestors of mine, particularly one from around the 1800s.
Okay. What's the name?
She opens up her computer.
Lillian. Muir. Maybe.
Do you know her date of birth or death?
No. I know she lived here around 1860.
Okay. Well, let me see if I get anything from the obituaries. I see a bunch of Lillians, but no Muir. Was Muir her maiden name?
I don't know how we're related.
That would explain it. I'll cross-check this list with wedding announcements. I have a Lillian Owens, died in 1926, survived by 3 children. Yes, Lillian Muir to marry Jonathan Owens. Oh, wow, she looks just like you.
Fuck.
I think a thank you was more what you mean.
Marilyn runs out the door and yells back.
Yes, thank you.
Interior, car, day. She pulls out of the parking lot, hyperventilating. She's driving so fast in the pouring rain she can't see anything. Out of nowhere, she hydroplanes and veers off the road. She sits there for a moment. She takes deep breaths and hits the gas. Her wheels start to spin in place. She looks at her phone reluctantly. She texts Henry. You busy? Interior, car, day, moments later. Henry arrives to help her.
Marilyn, always getting into trouble.
Henry inspects the damage.
Why don't you hit the gas and I'll push?
She nods her head and hits the gas as he pushes. It takes a moment, but the car is free from the mud.
Look at that. We did it.
Marilyn is in her own world, staring off.
You seem quiet. Is everything all right?
Just a little shook up.
Why don't we go to your house and have some tea? We can
No.
talk about it.
I mean, I don't want to go home right now. And I don't drink tea.
I was right, wasn't I? It's haunted.
Is there somewhere else we can go?
My wife is visiting her folks. She's not expected back until tomorrow. We could...
Yes, let's do that.
Great.
Interior, Henry's house night. Marilyn and Henry are making out on the couch.
I'm so glad you called me.
Yeah, me too.
They pull at each other's clothes. In the middle of it, Marilyn notices Henry's family photos on the side table. Interior, sea captain's room night. The house is quiet and dark. Jess walks in the sea captain's room and walks to the balcony. Exterior, sea captain's room, balcony night. She sits on the balcony floor and just watches the storm move away over the ocean, emotionless. Her phone buzzes. Chris is calling. She ignores it. Interior, Henry's house night. Marilyn stops Henry. He's confused.
I'm sorry. I can't do this.
Is it something I did?
No. You know why I can't do this anymore.
Henry looks ashamed. Suddenly they hear a car pulling in.
This isn't good.
His wife, Susan, 30s, walks into the house holding a 4-year-old girl's hand. Marilyn jumps up and grabs her clothes.
Who is she?
She covers her daughter's eyes, picks her up, and brings her upstairs. Henry looks at Marilyn, terrified. Marilyn is halfway dressed and runs out the front door. Interior, sea captain's cottage, bathroom night. Jess is looking at herself in the mirror. She holds a bottle of her mother's pills. She opens them, taking 2 at a time with her glass of water, aiming to finish the bottle. Exterior, Henry's house night. Marilyn holds her chest, approaching her car. She can hear them arguing from the sidewalk. She starts to cry, fumbling to get her car door open. Interior, car night. She sits for a moment and looks at her reflection in the mirror. Interior, sea captain's cottage, bathroom night. Jess sits down on the floor and cries. She stares at the tiles. Just then, a hand reaches down to her. It's Captain Greg.
Jess, this can't be what you want.
I know I don't want to be left alone.
She looks up at him, takes his hand, and stands up.
Is this really the way you want to leave things?
I must be close if I can see you. Even if I wanted to, there's no turning back now.
How do you know this isn't a dream?
I've always known you were here. I sensed you everywhere.
Take it from me. Drinking myself to death was the biggest mistake of my life.
Jess collapses, and the captain catches her and holds her in his arms on the floor. She comes in and out of consciousness.
Jess, can you hear me? You already have limited time with your mother. You're all each other has.
Not true.
The captain's confused.
We have you.
She passes out, and suddenly there's yelling from the front door.
Jess, where are you?
He barges in the bathroom. The captain is no longer there, and he sees Jess lying on the floor. He calls 911 while checking her pulse. Interior, car, night. Marilyn pulls up to the cottage and sees flashing lights. A stretcher is coming out of her house with Jess on it. Marilyn stops the car and runs to the ambulance. Exterior, sea captain's cottage night. Marilyn sees Jess is awake. The EMTs check her eyes as they roll her into the ambulance. She sees Chris right behind her.
Chris, what happened?
I got this weird text saying something was wrong. Then I found her on the floor with these.
He shows her Marilyn's medication. Her eyes widen. Marilyn runs to her daughter's aid before they shut the doors.
Ma'am, we have to go. Are you coming with us or following?
Chris, can you bring my car?
Yes.
Then I'm coming with you.
Marilyn throws her keys to Chris and sits next to Jess, holding her hand. Interior, hospital morning. Jess is sleeping and Marilyn is still holding her hand, watching her. A nurse comes in to check on the machines. The nurse leaves and Jess wakes up.
Mom?
There you are.
So, I made it after all.
Jess, I understand why you did what you did.
I don't really want to talk about it.
I know you don't. But I have to say this. Please.
Jess nods.
You're more like me than you'd like to admit. I also get caught up in my own shit. I can't see clearly.
What right do I have to tell you what to do with your life when I can't handle mine? But I don't believe this is what you wanted.
I wasn't thinking.
No, you weren't. I'm just blessed that you got a second chance.
I'm not gonna do it again.
Why?
What do you mean?
I mean, convince me. What changed your mind?
When I started feeling it, I felt sad. Not even scared, just sad. Like I was about to miss out on so many things. Then Captain Greg came and told me how he regrets drinking himself to death.
Marilyn tries to act like Jess is talking silly.
I know you don't believe, but he definitely haunts our house.
He didn't scare you?
No, actually. He was comforting.
That might have been the drugs you overdosed on. Wait, you're laughing? You're not going to yell at me for being tasteless?
I've wasted too much time being mad at you.
Marilyn hugs her.
What else do you remember?
Was Chris there?
Yeah, he said he came over after he got your text.
What text?
He said you texted him. Something's wrong.
I never texted him.
Marilyn looks at her confused.
I swear. Look at my phone.
Marilyn grabs her phone. It doesn't open, so she shoves it in front of Jess's face to make it open. They don't see that text from Jess.
Suspicious. Anyway, you know, Chris is a good one. He came right to your rescue.
I know. They're gonna make me stay here, aren't they?
Yeah, they'll want to keep their eyes on you.
I figured.
But you'll be back home in no time. Until then, you can eat all the bad food you want.
You gonna be okay at the house alone tonight? Now that you know it's haunted?
I'm staying here until I absolutely have to leave. When you're out of here, I think we should go back to New York. The house is fixed up enough. It should sell.
Why do you want to leave?
It was stupid of me to move us here in the first place. I think our priorities need to be each other right now. Not a haunted house.
Fine, but I don't want to go back to the coffee shop.
You don't have to. You'll figure out what you want.
Maybe I could take some courses so you don't have to hire a nurse. We still have a couple of years, right?
I don't want you to do that.
Why not? I want to at least try.
We'll talk about it later. I think you should focus on recovering.
Yes, Mom.
Interior Sea Captain's cottage, night. Marilyn comes into the house, looking around carefully. She turns on the lights. The house is silent.
Captain, I need to speak with you.
There's nothing.
Please show yourself. Or materialize, or whatever it is you do.
Still nothing. Interior Sea Captain's cottage, living room, night. She sits in the living room in front of his painting, staring into his eyes.
Fine. You won't come out. Then I'll just say what I have to say and be done with it. You win. I'm leaving.
Then Marilyn's phone rings. It's Ray.
Marilyn, we need to talk about your script. When did you start writing?
All this free time really makes me creative, I guess.
Look, I think this story has real potential. Would you come down to my office and talk about it a bit more? I have some edits, like the captain. I feel like he could be a bit more likable.
Marilyn looks at the painting and laughs.
I'm sorry, Ray. I think I'm going to have to pass.
Pass? Why?
Personal reasons. I can't sell you the script. Thanks for reading it.
Why didn't you sell your script?
She turns around quickly and stands up, her heart beating.
It's really you.
Answer me.
I owed you. I need you to know how grateful I am you saved Jess's life.
I didn't do it so you'd be grateful, madam.
Then why did you do it?
Why didn't you sell your script?
I told you.
Then we have nothing more to discuss. I'm sorry I scared you.
Wait!
Yes?
I don't want you to go.
It's you who's leading me.
I don't want to.
He turns back around and comes closer to her, very slowly, careful not to scare her again.
Then why are you?
I'm afraid I can't take care of this house. Because eventually, I won't be able to climb those stairs.
And I don't want you to see me like that.
What does it matter what I think?
Because I'm in love with you.
The captain smiles.
Darling, I will love you through your best and worst times. And selling my story allows you to stay here. Then sell it.
Really?
I want you to live out your life and afterlife with me. I want to be the first face you see when you take your last breath.
Marilyn tears up and smiles.
I want that too.
Interior Sea Captain's cottage morning. Chris and Jess are at the table drinking coffee. Marilyn brings eggs to them. Captain Greg is standing by the door smiling. Interior, exterior, Sea Captain's cottage, pan through the years. A pan from room to room in the house shows the progression of Jess and Marilyn's life together. Jess is sitting in the living room doing online classes. The lighting changes from day to night. Marilyn opens her front door and hands Henry a check. The light changes to day, and Marilyn hangs up Jess's degree on the wall. Chris kisses Jess, and she smiles so proud of herself. We pan to the living room. As the light turns to night, Marilyn, Jess, and Chris are watching TV. On screen is a sea captain, identical to Captain Greg. Captain Greg looks unamused, standing behind them, watching. Next, we pan to the kitchen as the light turns to day again. Marilyn is walking with a cane. Jess makes lunch, and the captain sits with them. We pan to the front of the house and see Chris parking his new truck with his logo on the side. Marilyn is in a wheelchair hanging out on the porch, while Jess runs to Chris and hugs him. We pan to the beach and see Jess's wedding to Chris with a small crowd of people. Marilyn is at the top of the hill in her wheelchair, watching from afar. The captain stands beside her with his hand on her shoulder. She places her hand on top of his. We pan all the way up through the bay windows. Marilyn is sitting in her room on the chair in front of the fireplace. She is at the end. She slips away, alone in her room. Captain Greg takes her hand and she stands up, young and beautiful again. They kiss passionately.